When you walked into the San Francisco Giants clubhouse in the past, you walk in. The first door on your right-hand side is Mike Murphy's office, who has been there 65 years working for the San Francisco Giants. On the left is the manager and the coaches and all that, right? Then you got to go through this little hallway, and it's all pictures of Hall of Famers in San Francisco Giant history before you get into the clubhouse. Well, the previous regime not only got rid of Mike Murphy, they took his office and knocked out a wall, and they put all the stat meatheads right there. So now when you walk, oh, and by the way, they took all of the Hall of Famers down and everything down. So now when you walk in, it's some freaking graffiti on the wall. Then you got the stat guys. Then over here is the manager. And the stat guys are always in the manager's office. And I'm like, this is not right.
Baby. Enjoy this great game.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Humm Baby Baseball channel. I've been a Will Clark's fan since 1986, 87, definitely. That's when I really got into the Giants. But I've never been a bigger fan than I am today. Will Clark is coming hard, and he is spitting truths. And there's multiple videos he's talking on podcasts, and he's coming out against the analytical bullshit. You saw the intro video? Check this out.
A strike, guess what? You're starting to get back into the at-bat. You're getting back into the count. And so, you try to talk to people about that now, and they're like, we don't need to do that. I'm swinging for the fences. I'm like, yeah, it's because you're a fucking asshole. You don't want to hit 300. You don't want to help your teammates out, and you don't care about striking out. That's why you strike out 150 times and hit 230, 240.
I love the energy there and the thought process there. And look, I mean, analytics has its place for sure, but Farhan Zaidi came in here super analytical with the computers. He's been running the show for the last 5 years, 6 years. Came in, 2019? Came in at the end of 2018. So 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Giants haven't made the playoffs once.
All of you guys in the major leagues that hit 230, 240, 15 homers, 45 RBIs, strike out 150 times, you motherfucker. You guys are not hitters.
Once and got booted in the first round. Yeah, they had a really good season, 107 games. A lot of freak accidents there. A lot of crazy stuff happened. Brandon Crawford career year. Brandon Belt career year. Both career highs home run. Brandon Belt hit 29 bombs. What happened? He usually hits 16, 17. Buster Posey had a rejuvenance and a great year there. Lots of pitchers like Kevin Gausman were awesome. And then you got rid of Kevin Gausman. Good job there. So all I can say is that year everything came together. Did the Giants build on it? Did we get back in the playoffs? No. So what was the point? No point. A trivia answer when they say, what year did the Giants win the most games in the regular season? Boom, 2021, 107 games. So we got a trivia question out of that season. It was fun. I mean, it was enjoyable, and it was a great season, but it's all about the playoffs. And the bottom line is this analytical stuff, it ain't working. Because the Brandon Crawford and Brandon Belt and all that wasn't part of the analytics. That was just a freak thing.
You got lucky, babe. Yeah, you got lucky, babe.
The full analytical style of Farhan hasn't worked. You heard Will Clark talk about how they messed up the clubhouse. You used to walk in, you had the equipment manager, you had Murph's area there, you had all this great memorabilia and all this tributes to all the great Giants teams of the past and all the great Giants players. Got rid of that, get all of it, and it's all computerish and bullshit. And it's just not going to create a winning atmosphere when you just ignore players' input, when you just ignore what happens on the field, and these computers supposedly take what's on the field, right, and turn it into zeros and ones, and you're supposed to get something out of that. I'm not saying there's not a place for that. Of course there's a place for that. Don't just ignore it. We don't have to go straight back to the 1920s and 1930s and just ignore analytics altogether, or even the 1970s and 80s for that matter. But we don't have to do that because computers can be great to process a bunch of data, to process, pitchers and where they pitch and what hitters like and what their weaknesses and strengths and weaknesses. Computers can really help to get that information out to the players, just, as far as scouting reports and things like that, instead of having to, write it all down and memorize and try, the old way. Some of that's cool too, but when you use computers, in addition to all that, it can definitely help, and it can give you some ideas of how to, go about trying to win a game. It can give you some ideas of maybe, who to pinch hit for, what relief pitchers to use, a vague idea. But when the game is going on, computers just aren't smart enough. I'm sorry. I'm not saying I'm smarter than a computer. Computers are smart in different ways than a human being. I mean, is that not just common sense? I can't tell you what's 542 times 812. My computer can do it in a split second. But a computer is not going to know what we can see on a field. Computer doesn't know if a guy's getting a little tired. Doesn't know if a guy's getting a little emotional. Maybe he's off because he's getting a little emotional. But the computer says he's got to throw 82 pitches. We're sticking to that 82 pitches. Maybe he's at 70. He's getting emotional. He's getting off. We need to pull him now. That's the instinct of the pitching coach. That's the instinct of the manager. But no. The computer says 82 pitches. And we must abide by that.
Fuck you, mother.
And that's just an example of hundreds and thousands and millions of examples that can happen on a baseball field. The managers on the field, the coaches are on the field. They are experts. They've been in this game, and Will Clark knows what he sees on the field and what his experience tells him, what his instinct tells him, is going to be right more often than not. And what a computer says is takes all those extra elements out. It just takes data and just spits it out, just like AI. Put an AI image and they look pretty cool. Yeah, until you look at their fingers and it's like, what, there's 12 fingers here. It's all jacked up. The computer doesn't know. A human artist is going to do a better job than an AI on a computer because the human artist is going to go for perfection. They know exactly how many fingers and toes we have. They know exactly what we should look like. They're not going to put something weird. Computers don't know. They just take the data and throw it out there and say, here you go, but it's not always right. And that's all I got to say about that. Will Clark, you're the man. But the biggest question is Buster Posey going to make a change? Because he's now the president of baseball operations. And Buster Posey is talk about a completely different person than Farhan. Farhan Zaidi is not a baseball player. I don't know, he might have played in Little League, I don't know, but maybe he played, I don't know, but definitely didn't play professionally. He's a analytical front office guy. He's a computer dude. Now, Buster Posey is not going to fire all the analytical guys. They're going to have an analytical department, but they need to bring back, Murphy's retired, but they need to get the clubhouse back closer to what it was before. A championship atmosphere, a baseball atmosphere, not a computer atmosphere in the freaking clubhouse. They're going to have a computer section up somewhere else. Not in the clubhouse. Yes, you have an area where some of these analytical guys can input their data to the manager. That's just one element. It should be one element, not the whole thing. And guess what? If the Giants had won 4 World Series or even 2 World Series in the last 4 or 5 years, I'd be like, hey, well, it works, it works. Guess what? It didn't work.
This is not right at all. Hey, look, if you're going to be the guy that's going to tell the manager who to play, why to play him, and all that sort of stuff, well, then when it goes south, you need to answer the call too as well. And guess what? The San Francisco Giants even called me up and freaking slapped me on the freaking hand about this too. So now that Buster has come out and, reiterated kind of what I said, I don't get no slaps on the hand no more.
So I'm with Will Clark right here. And usually things don't work when you go 100% on something. Just like if I'm old school and if I took over the Giants and I decided I'm going old school, we're doing 4-man rotations, complete games, and whenever possible, we're getting rid of the relief pitchers by and large. We're going full old school. You guys are throwing 300 innings. We don't play. Guess what? Guys' arms are going to fall off because the way they pitch today. Nothing when you go to the extreme is good. It's always good to use a mixture of different ideals, get in there, and let's get it done. And I think Buster Posey realized that because he's a smart dude. And I'm not saying Farhan's not a smart dude, but Farhan has his ways, and he's going to do that. It's better to have a player like Buster Posey who's going to come in. He's going to use his experience on the field. He's going to listen to guys like Will Clark, but he's also smart enough to know computers will play a role. Whether we like that or not, computers are going to play a role. A effing role. And that's it. Let me know your thoughts down below. Is things going to change? Are things going to change with Buster Posey? Or, and first of all, let me just say this as a last note here. Even if you do what I said for Buster Posey, you still got to get talent. you still got to sign freaking players. We still need a superstar or two. So just to throw that out there, like I said, it takes a lot. You can't just use computers and think you're going to throw out Moneyball players and you're going to win anything. We got to sign players, and we got to create a baseball clubhouse, a winning atmosphere, and get a good roster out there, get good coaches, get a good manager, which we have, and let's get it done. And that's all I got to say. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section. We will talk to you in the next video.